Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and whatever else you want to call yourself. We're going to be streaming. We have things to say, and 12 and counting is a really good name for how we feel about things. Wouldn't you agree, Doku?
Only 12.
And counting.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
hmm All right, to give people the hem lowdown, yeah, I actually get to say that. It's pretty cool. This is basically our opinion on the absolute crap show. See, I'm still playing nice, Stoker. The absolute crap show that's going on with poor old little Timmy Paul, and the fact that that people have got this strange idea that swatting him and putting bomb threats in and whatnot is a good idea. Now, look, as a Brit, I wasn't around during the 70s and early 80s when we had the air quotes time of troubles. I will admit I was not around for that shit. But it weren't good, okay? There were bomb threats all over the place. And apparently your country's now having that by its own people doing it. So technically, at least we were still, we were actually at war with somebody while this is going on. You guys are doing it for sheer shits and giggles.
Yeah,
Opinion.
it's. Hmm, I'm not even 100% sure actually how to put this. When you have individuals, whoever they might be, thinking that I don't like what this person is saying on the internet, therefore I'm going to utilize falsified information and essentially weaponize law enforcement to, and let's be honest, let's just call it what it is. You're trying to utilize law enforcement to get somebody killed. Like,
Yes.
I know the quartering would try to say like to not be on this planet anymore or things like. I'm not gonna do that.
No,
I'm not going to I'm not gonna play funny semantic games.
no.
What these individuals are trying to do is they're trying to utilize law enforcement via falsified information to try to get these people killed. They're trying to commit murder.
Yes.
And the thing that pisses me off the most about this is they don't have the balls to actually do it themselves. They're trying to get the cops to kill someone on their behalf. They don't have the balls to actually go and do it themselves because they're fucking cowards.
Yep. You swore, sir. You broke
Uh,
in early. Ah.
well, you know what? I already broke Susan's glorious 5 minute rule, and I honestly don't give a flying fuck. It No, these scumbag fucking cowards piss me off so damn much because not only do you not have the balls to actually go ahead and put your own life on the line, you're trying to utilize the cops
Yeah.
to kill someone, to commit an act of murder, put
Yep.
them in a situation that they have no idea like whether this is a swatting. They have no clue what situation they're going into. You have no regard for their safety. You have no regard for their family and their friends or anything like that. Now, you just don't like this person saying things on the internet, and so you're going to use the police to hopefully murder this person on your behalf because you're a fucking scumbag coward. And talk about being a piece of shit. Like, I
Yeah.
I know I have certain levels of how much of a scumbag can you be when you're trying to utilize the police to kill someone for saying things that you don't like. uh Yeah, you're definitely you're very high up on my list of scumbag.
And here's the funny thing: they're not the worst of the people. At this point, everyone's going to be going, "Well, yeah, they are." No, the worst of the people is the fact that the police won't actually prosecute this kind of scum. To put it bluntly, they don't actually want to go up against them. And you can sit there and say, well, they don't know who they are. Really? Do they really think that they can't track this sort of thing? I
Oh,
mean, it's
they
all
they
done by
fucking
phones, for God's sake.
no, they fucking know who they fucking know who they are. And first off, Addie, hello, good morning. And Kim, yeah, yes, Kim, I remember that. Uh, and I will not speak to what Kim is saying, but yeah, if you don't think that these the police officers in question don't have a digital footprint, if they if someone comes out and says, and I've seen what Temple and what the quartering say, it's like, well, we don't know who this person is. Bullshit. Yes, you
Mhm.
do. You
Yeah.
fucking know. I know for a fucking fact that you do because I also know people who work in IT and cybersecurity who, well, I'll just say are inside the beltway.
Hmm.
I know for a fucking fact that if someone called and it could be through, I'm going to do my star 69 or I'm going to use a burner phone, yeah, I'm going to use my Cricket wireless or my Boost mobile phone. Motherfucker, they know who the fuck you are. They
Yep.
like don't sit there and try to tell me they don't know who it is. No, they fucking do. They fucking do. Don't sit there and tell me they don't. If someone tries to tell you they don't know who you are, they either don't know what the fuck they're talking about or they're fucking lying to you. Like, I
Hmm.
don't want to hear this bullshit of like, well, they can't find them. It's like, motherfucker, they know who got the phone. They can track the signal. Yes, they know who the fuck you are.
Yep.
Hey, I
Hold up, one thing from Kem. If a crime can be paid by a fine, it means it's legal for a price. She is not wrong.
no, she's not wrong at all.
No. And Loafer, VPN, actually not a bad bloody idea, mate. I really think you should.
But the point is, if you have a signal that's coming from a phone, guess what? Even phones have a fucking NIC address. Everything has a fucking digital footprint. They can try. They know what signal is going to what cell tower. They can track down who bought the phone. Like they know who the fuck you are. You can't sit there and fucking tell me that someone just bought a random phone and just happened to send an anonymous text to an anonymous source and then contacted a law enforcement agency and claimed that some person was going to kill someone and then got a SWAT team mobilized to their fucking physical address and you don't know who the fuck put in the tip. Bullshit.
I'm assuming you heard about the sort of crap that went on at the quartering, things that were happening to him.
Oh yeah, that they showed up to his house. Like yeah, it's like no, dude. You can't tell me you don't know who the fuck did this. Hey, I I know enough to know that they know who the fuck did it. They definitely do.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
And I'm not gonna say how or why I know, but I know. and and I know before like the quartering was ever popular or temple was ever popular. I've seen some of the shit that people do. I've been on the wild west of the internet. I've s- I have seen the shit. I I know what people do. I know what people are capable of. I know how this shit operates. I've never engaged in it personally because I'm not a fucking idiot, but I've seen the type of shit people can engage in. And I know how very easy it is to find someone who engages in this type of shit and get your ass fucking arrested. Boyle, I'm looking at you. And Kim, you know who the fuck I'm talking about. You fucking pedophile, fucking autistic little shitbag.
Are you
Yeah.
suggesting you don't like this person? That's what
Uh,
I'm sensing.
I'm suggesting that I know someone who doxed people and then used uh a word that begins with a C followed up with a P to try to
Ah,
frame people for doing bad things. This was actually in the UK. Uh, and a weird roundabout, turn of events, got busted himself for using this C to the P to fuck with people.
okay. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Boyle, I'm looking at you, you fucking moron. And you got what you fucking deserved, you little fucking shit. And yeah, Kim, I see you laughing at that because you damn. It, I'm not gonna talk about it on stream, but yes, Jensen, this is a. I'll just say we've been around the block long enough to know that if someone's gonna sit there and say that the fucking police don't know who is doxing or swatting Temple and Jeremy Hambley, the core ring, bullshit. Yes, they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
The question is, why aren't they doing anything about it?
Yep. That's what matters. Okay. It's a fact. I can. Let's be completely honest. We know full well the reason they're not going to do anything is because these people class as useful idiots, i.e., they can use these people to piss off the person that they want to. In this case, Timmy or Quartering, and that's why they're able to get away with it because they theoretically should be able to come down, person who sent it, in minutes. I mean, literally minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. And no one. Uh, I'm gonna. I'm gonna try to say this as concisely as possible. No one who is rational
Hmm.
is going to look at the state of the internet or the exchange of information today and believe that if I called the police and claim that you're going to commit suicide or you're engaging in murder or you know something to the extreme of you get the bomb squad or the SWAT team mobilized and not believe they don't know who the fuck you are. Like, no, dude. Hey, if you believe that you're going to be anonymous and you're getting the SWAT or the SWAT team or bomb squad mobilized, no. Like that you've got to be a special kind of fucking naive to believe that they can never figure out who I am. Like, no, dude, you're dumb. Like that is that is the definition of the dumb.
Hmm. Yeah.
You suffer from a chronic case of the dumb if you think that is uh, that's a thing. The bigger question is how how are you getting away with not being prosecuted for what is a federal crime? Like,
Like I said to you, mate, useful idiot, or as Ken put it, useful patsy. She's not wrong.
no, she's not wrong at all. And again, it's they are patsies. They uh, these individuals, and I really, 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 really hate to admit this.
Hmm.
Do you do you remember seeing that video of the one dude on the Twitch streamer where he's like, yeah, I doxed the GoFundMe. I doxed the Canadian truckers. It was me. Like, you remember that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
psychopathic fucking moron?
yeah.
So, you want to know the dirty little secret about that?
Go on.
Yeah, the Canadian government apparently actually had hired that guy to do like some hacking and cybersecurity stuff for them.
Oh, oh. As we talk about Canadian, just want to put an aside. Did you know that if you think you own your house in Canada, no, you don't. The government can take it off of you. You have no right to own your own home.
Well, they can do that in the United States as well. It's called eminent domain.
Yeah, no, no. The way this is like one of the governmental types was saying, he made it sound as literally you cannot own your house. I know eminent domain, but you guys got the idea from us.
Oh, so it's not even like an eminent domain thing. It's just more of well, who owns it? The Central
The,
Bank of Canada?
the government,
So
they can just take your house, apparently. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm not Canadian, as you probably hopefully have spotted. But nonetheless, yeah.
so is it like I guess if there's any Canadians in the chat that could explain this to me, I would like to know if it's through the government itself or if it's by proxy through like the Central Bank of Canada or some other financial firm, or if the government could. Well, I guess technically they could pull something like eminent domain and just say like, yeah, we just determined that we we need your house, so fuck you. I guess I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess technically they could do the same thing in the U.S. I just feel like they'd have to jump through a few more loopholes, but
Yeah. Weird,
either
isn't it?
either way, I feel like we are reaching a. I was actually kind of talking. I was talking to someone about this on Twitter,
Hmm.
so I guess we could bring it up now because it seems like an appropriate time. I don't. This is going to sound pessimistic on my part.
Hmm.
I do honestly feel like we've gotten so far down the rabbit hole that there there's not really a way that we're going to avoid an authoritarian outcome. Now, is that outcome going to be, you know, corporatism, idiocracy, Taco Bell owns everything, or is it going to be like 1984 Brave New World? I'm not sure what or how that authoritarian control manifests itself. I don't know if it's going to be corporatism. I don't know if it's going to be government authoritarianism, combination thereof. I don't know how, or I don't know what it's going to look like.
Yep.
It
Before you carry on, mate, I sent you in Discord DMs the thing that's saying about the Canadians and the property. It's only a minute long. If you want to take a look at it, and then come back with your opinion. Okay.
okay. Yeah,
All right. In that case, I'll talk to the nice people while you have a little watch of that.
okay.
So,
Yeah. Let me mute myself real quick then.
yep, you go for it. So, you live in a country where apparently breaking what would be classed as a federal law is actually perfectly acceptable, and the idea of wasting police time, which in England is really rather illegal, apparently you guys think it's acceptable to do so. Is there something wrong with this picture somewhere? Because pretty freaking confident that this is bad in basically any country you could possibly imagine. What's going on? Could someone please explain this to me? Because it makes no sense to me. Certainly use no juice to three seashells. Nice one, Kim. Nice reference. Right, as I was saying, yeah, these people are able to call up the police and send in basically one step away from the military in to actually deal with these people. What is wrong with this picture? Okay, because don't get me wrong, you get a version of that over here. We have what is known as SO19. Oh god, Doku's streaming. Yeah, mate.
I believe I shared audio, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna let you finish, and then we'll.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's called false reporting. Yes, Maddie, I agree. And it's wrong. It's ridiculously wrong. I mean, I know that you guys have got this whole thing about defund the police, etc., etc. But let's get blunt, okay? They are wasting police time, effort, and money that could be used to stop people from being hurt. If nothing else, I'm going to put it bluntly, they should be charged for that. Go right, Doku. You wanted to do something?
Yeah. First off,
Did you watch it?
I did.
Was I correct in my opinion?
Yes, and I have some
I,
thoughts about this.
I bet you bloody do. Go for it, mate.
If the audio doesn't come through, just let me know, and I'll go
I
ahead
will
and.
do.
Okay, we're good.
I'm hearing it.
Minister Lemay, I want to just ask you about C-19 and the idea of seizing and selling off Russian assets. The idea that some observers say that is on shaky legal ground. How do you respond to that?
Well, look, we'll obviously tailor the provisions so that it could withstand a court challenge. You don't have an absolute right to own private property in Canada. It is there are steps that are taken when expropriations happen at whatever level of government, and we'll be sure to stay within those boundaries.
Anything?
So there's two important things to break down here. I do appreciate memology and how he does his videos.
Yeah.
I would have liked him to break down this part first. So I'm going to go ahead and replay this, and I'm going to actually how the hell do I actually slow this shit down?
That's it. In settings,
Aha.
there's a speed thing. Yep.
There we go. I'm going to put it on 0.75. I want everyone to listen to what this guy says, because what they're doing is they're presenting you with a justification. So listen to what he says here.
Russian assets. The idea that some observers say that is on shaky legal ground. Minister Lemay, I want to just ask you about C-19 and the idea of seizing and selling off Russian assets. The idea that some observers say that is on shaky legal ground. How do you respond to that?
Well, look, we'll obviously tailor the provisions so that it could withstand a court challenge. You don't have an absolute right to own private property in.
Okay, so that says everything that needs to be said. So I'm going to stop sharing on that one. So this is what's important to realize about what this guy just said. So let's say you're a Canadian citizen. Because Russia decided to get involved in a war with a country that is not Canada, the Canadian government now thinks and believes that it has the authority to seize assets. So if they believe that you are aligned with Russia, if some of your assets are somehow tied to Russia, if you are yourself a Russian asset, and they can seize your property because you don't have the right to that. It doesn't matter if you paid for it. It doesn't matter if you paid taxes for it. It doesn't matter if you bought it. It's nope, because Russia did a bad thing and we don't like Russia and we're siding with the country that Russia's at war with. We can take your shit. That's basically what this guy is saying.
Can I throw an opinion, mate? How long is it going to be before this goes on with the Canadians? It's not like that they had any issues with Ottawa and people going around using honk honk. What happens if they lose all of their property, like their trucks, their homes, their family?
Oh yeah, it's definitely not like the Canadian government went and confiscated and seized people's, private property, in this case, a truck, and impounded it, and then said, "Oh, you got to pay us to get it back." And oh, by the way, if I remember correctly, there were a few people who had dogs
Yeah.
that were then impounded, and if you couldn't get them back within, I believe it was like what, a week, 2 weeks, then they were going to kill them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Canadian government did that too.
Yeah. British are not a fan about people that hurt animals. Just saying.
But yeah, please tell me about how Trudeau and all of these other individuals are, they care so much about life and freedom and this and that. No, they don't. You lying sons of fucking bitches.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, no, you don't. You do not care about life. You do not care about freedom. Don't try to bullshit me. I think anybody with two shits for brains knows what the hell is going on right here, and it's not anything good.
Yeah. If only Oz, if only. Yeah. So I just wanted to make that little point about Canada because it's something I saw earlier. I thought I have to let you know about this. You understand why, I assume.
No, I do, and I'm more. How do I put this? I'm more concerned that people can. How do I say this? I'm more concerned that you can present people with this information and try to show them what's going on and be like, yo, 2 + 2 equals, and they just refuse to see it. They won't acknowledge it. They're like, nope, you're a conspiracy theorist. You're crazy. It's not happening. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, they're literally doing this. Hey, why? Like, how do you not realize? Like, do you not see where this leads? Hey, it's mind-boggling to me that you can show people this information and be like, look, Canada literally, and we're talking Canada. This is not Turkey. This is not China. This is not Russia. This is not. This is Canada, for fuck's sake.
Technically, one of the first world countries, to put it bluntly.
And they will freeze your bank account, take your money, take your truck from you, and take your dog and threaten to kill it. And this is apparently a first world country and quote unquote free. And then if you point this out to people, they're like, nah, there's nothing wrong. how dare you protest the government? Like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? Like,
Yeah.
this is like, you thought China was bad? China's looking at Trudeau going, yo, you make us look like, normal. Like, you're literally killing people's dogs. Like,
Yep.
what the absolute fuck?
Yep.
I don't understand how people can sit there and go, there's nothing wrong. They're definitely not doing anything wrong. Trudeau isn't doing anything wrong. Biden isn't doing anything wrong. The WHO not doing anything wrong. World Health Organization not doing anything wrong. World Economic Forum, nope, conspiracy theory. Hey, are you guys paying attention? Hey,
Dude, it's easy, yeah? Stop asking questions and just consume. Then you'll be okay.
I don't understand how you can see, or how you can see so many different instances of, like, bro, these people don't care about you. They're not
Nope.
acting in your best interest.
Nope.
They're not even acting in the best interest of your country. They
Mhm.
this shouldn't even be like a 2 + 2 = 4 type of situation. Like, this should be blatantly fucking obvious. These people are malicious.
Yes.
But nope. No, they're working they're working for the betterment of society because, I don't know, reasons. Wait, how? Yeah, I don't know, because they told me. Like,
Right. Yeah, from Maddie. We are the government and we're here to help. The scariest string of words in history. I absolutely agree with her.
it's true.
That should terrify the living crap out of you if you ever hear those words uttered.
I would actually, I believe we actually need to update that.
Mm-hmm.
And
We're the government. We're here to fuck you.
well, the updated version is it would probably make certain YouTube, how should I say, sensors, monitors,
Mm-hmm.
the YouTube Karens.
Mm-hmm.
It'll upset people. We'll just put it that way. It'll upset.
Oh no. You mean they might be unhappy with me? Oh, how will I come? Just go ahead. Just say what you like, mate.
So I would like to point out, and immediately I know the detractors will say, "Oh my God, that's anti-LGBT or anti this or anti that." Oh, you don't have to be LGBTQIA cake plus to believe this,
Mm-hmm.
but there is a specific ideology that will call pregnant women birthing people. They refer to couples, specifically straight couples, as breeders.
Yeah.
They refuse to acknowledge what biologically men and women are versus what the social implications of being a man or a woman are. They like to conflate the two. But they don't like to acknowledge what the biological sense versus the sociological sense between the two are.
Yep.
It complicates their argument and it undermines it.
Yep.
And more specifically, and most importantly, they want to control agency over your children while at the same time undermining the agency that the parents have. And it's for a very specific reason. And I know this upsets a lot of people, but I'm just going to be honest about it.
Yep.
They don't procreate. They don't have children of their own. So they go after your kids, and that's how they
Yep.
propagate their ideology. I'm sorry, that's just the way it works. Like, they don't have kids. So the only way their ideology continues to expand and it continues to exist is by indoctrinating your kids. And if you dare criticize them, if you dare speak out against it,
Hmm.
then they say, oh, there's irrational fear and it's hate speech and this or that. It's like, no, fuck you. You're just trying to indoctrinate kids that aren't your own into an ideology that isn't their own, because if you don't do that, your ideology will cease to exist in about 1 or 2 generations.
We
And
have
they're very well aware of it.
someone coming on. Hey, Maddie.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. Before we start, hope everything's all right, sweetheart. Really do.
Hey, I'm facing radiation and chemo starting the 27th of this month, but other than that, I'm hanging in there.
Oh, that
Ouch.
I hope that goes well for you, because that sounds like an absolute fucking hellhole.
Yep.
Well, the running joke, because I am determined to attack it with humor, is I'll either wind up glowing in the dark, being my own light source, hopefully get bit by an irradiated spider, or I have to manage my anger issues for the rest of my life. So,
Well, if the spider option ends up happening, let me know, because I would like to be a friendly neighborhood. Wait, I can't say Spider-Man anymore because that's not politically correct.
I'll go ahead and
Spider
say it. I don't
person.
care.
I'll be a spider-zer.
Spider breeder. There you go.
If I do become a pushing 50 Spider Woman, then the most thing I'm going to use the webbing for is to snatch the coffee cup from the kitchen.
That'd be awesome. Anyway, wanted on. What would you like to say, my dear?
Well, coming from a family that fled basically a totalitarian communist regime, I was always taught to watch for the signs.
Mm-hmm.
How people word things, how people start censoring things, how people treat certain groups of people. And as it started ramping up, I started realizing, oh shit, we're going down the wrong path. Hi guys. Hello. Maybe we should kind of correct course and go in the other direction. But these young, and I sound old when I say this, but these young people nowadays have no clue what actual communism is, or socialism for that particular um, matter. Because if you look at Venezuela, if you look at Cuba, Russia has, practically a dictatorship. There are a lot of things they can't do over there, even though people, there are some people for some reason that defend Putin. I don't know why. I think they're on drugs. I don't know. But it's if you look at what's going on in Cuba now, which a lot of people aren't talking about it now, they're ignoring it. There's actually still protests and stuff going on.
Yeah.
Because they've had it. They're done with being told what to do, where to go, what they can and can't say, who they can and can't like. And they have been protesting for a while, and a lot of people haven't been bringing that up. And because it destroys their narrative of, oh, communism is great. Well, if it's so great, why are people fighting against it now?
Well, no, actually, I'm going to defend communism here. Yeah, you heard me. Communism must be great. I mean, look how many people are just dying to get involved.
Oh, Jensen.
What? What? Did I say something wrong?
And
Yeah, what's happening today has been happening slowly, because you don't do a change like this out of the blue one morning in big steps. It's like a little worm in your ear. Think of, oh, I don't know, what geek reference can I do here? The worms from the Wrath of Khan Star Trek movie. They burrow in, they get there, they start whispering things, and the next thing you know, you're believing everything you hear, and you're fighting for the enemy instead of thinking for yourself.
Just what they want you to do.
and I've said this before. This is not something new. This actually started back in at the late 50s, early 60s is when it really began, but you didn't really see it gain traction until really about the honestly the 70s, and the only thing that really stopped it was McCarthyism, because as much as I hate to admit this, they were correct in recognizing that, yeah, this is an issue. It's a problem. You should not accept this type of ideology. You should not you should not propagate this mindset because it is fundamentally flawed. It's wrong. And I know a lot of people will sit there and say, like, well, eh, you know, they'll sit there and say, well, capitalism is bad. Capitalism is evil. Well, here's the fundamental difference between communism and capitalism. In capitalism, I'm not holding a gun to your head telling you you have to do something. It's a voluntary exchange of a good or a service. I'm not forcing you to do anything. Under communism, I am. Because the only way communism can work is you either agree to operate under this system, or if you don't, I hold a gun to your head and force you, because the second one person doesn't agree to that system, the whole thing falls apart because it fundamentally ignores human nature.
No, it's like, the arguments that I used to get into in my news account about communism and socialism. I'm like, granted, if you read about it on paper, the theory is sound on paper.
Yep.
When you add in the human factor is where things always go wrong. Like capitalism looks great on paper. You add in people. There's always free will in capitalism. You're going to have people that are homeless by choice, homeless by situation, and disenfranchised, and that fall through the cracks because their choices have led them to this particular point, or choices other people have made have led them to the particular situation that they're in. It's not always the person's free will. Like, obviously, because there are a lot of homeless veterans out there, not because they're not getting homeless benefits, but because their benefits don't allow them to afford a house or a place to stay. This is tragic. It's always going to be, because it is literally the prime example of our country not taking care of their own veterans, which they should be. Which is why you have charities that help them get homes and have a place to stay. You have people that are homeless that have lost their jobs due to, oh, I don't know, takeovers and mergings, and then all of a sudden their position is quote unquote redundant and they don't need them anymore. And for one reason or another, they haven't been able to find another job. And then there are people that have had it. They're so stressed out. They're done with everything. They don't want to handle anything anymore. And these are the people that say, fuck it, walk out of their house and are never seen again, because these are the people that choose to be homeless. I'm not saying that's the majority of it, but I'm saying that there are some people out there that have chosen to be homeless because it's easier to be homeless than to deal with all the bullshit. Inflation is the bane of capitalism, because the more you print money, the less it's worth. So the more you have to pay for things in the store.
Yep.
You know,
All right, Maddie, just have a look in your Discord DMs. I think you'll appreciate the meme.
yes, I resemble that remark.
I thought you'd appreciate it.
Mhm.
And you are right, Sharty, people do suck. All jokes aside, though, Oz is correct. One use with people. They really do add a nice flavour to the food you're eating. Anyway,
Maddie, I would put it this way: all economic systems, especially socioeconomic systems, involve some degree of coercion.
Mhm.
Under capitalism, that coercion is primarily focused around a stack of money.
Yep.
Now, how big or how thin that stack of money is, well, that's the coercion aspect. Do you want more or do you want less? Like, that's how you manipulate people under a capitalistic society.
Mhm.
Under communism, the coercion usually takes the form of a bullet.
Or being put in jail because you said something that quote unquote you weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
They'll throw you in jail and claim that that's what they're doing, but it usually still takes the form of a bullet because keeping people alive still costs money, and
This is true.
they would probably more likely rather kill you and say like, yeah, no, it's fine. We kept them alive for a week, but
I did see a video a little while ago. It's about a bunch of air quotes kids, i.e., the student idiots, sitting there, and they were talking to this fine gentleman, an old guy he was. He was Russian. He came from, sort of around the 70s and incredibly early 80s, and they were trying to explain to him why communism was good. He didn't have a good reaction to it,
Oh,
which
of
is
course.
as polite as a way as I can put this. Or another way of putting it is he lost his living shit and was slagging them uphill and down Dow, and their entire response was, "Well, it was the wrong kind of communism, man. And this was the one that killed me. You just don't understand."
Oh, there used to be times in my news account on on Twitter that people would tag me in those particular conversations with those naive stidiots, I call them. And I got up one morning, we got coffee. We were living out of the truck. We had gone in there to get our cups of coffee and everything, and I opened up my phone. I saw that I had notifications. Hit the notifications, and I started smiling. And Ronan was like, "You're smiling for once." I said, "Yeah, because I don't have to lift a finger this time." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because, yes, I got tagged in another one of those communism is great, we need communism threads." He said, "Yeah, but 3 Cuban nationals have already jumped into the thread to tell people how full of crap they are."
Yeah, yeah. It's fascinating when you watch these people try to argue with those that have actually lived through communism. That
Mhm.
apparently communism is great. I Look, I've not lived through communism. I'm happy to say I haven't. Hell, I wasn't even around when the war was the thing. But yeah, I've heard enough about how bad things are, and that is just stories. I never had to live through this rubbish. You
Yeah.
have all my sympathies for having to go through that shit. I'll
Well,
be
well,
honest with you.
when I was born in Miami, so I got all my stories from my parents, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles.
Hmm.
And, one of the first things that is always thrown back to me in these conversations is, "Oh, your parents are just pissed off because, they like Batista better and they got all their property taken away from them and yada yada yada." And when I reply, both of my parents admit that Batista was no saint either, and they didn't like him either. And yes, they had their lands taken away from them. And yes, they got reduced to nothing, to having nothing like everybody else.
Hmm.
They got quiet for a couple of minutes and the argument would continue until they finally realized, okay, but what always made me smile and laugh is when they started talking to Cuban nationals and they're like, "Well, you probably have never even been to Cuba." And the Cuban national goes, "I live in Santa Clara," or "I live in Havana," or "I live 2
Yeah,
miles from Veladero Beach." It's like, yes, we live on the island, dumbass.
yeah. But don't forget, you guys don't understand how it really should be. It's not your fault. You just don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh god, I just want to punch these people until my knuckles break. I really do.
I did, to me, I remember I was on long ago a stream. I forgot the name of the creator, and he asked me if you could say or do anything to these kids that are trying to say communism is great, what would it be? I said I would love to open a GoFundMe to raise enough money to give each of these ignorant idiots a one-way ticket to Cuba to see how long they last.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's not a bad idea. The only way you're really going to get through to these morons is for them to actually experience it.
Mm-hmm.
You try and explain it, and they will just come up with excuses. Experience, that's another matter.
And I'm still curious,
Mhm.
considering how many times communism or socialism or whatever label they want to put on it, and they can't talk about the Scandinavian model because that's just still capitalism with a social safety net. That's not communism or socialism. Any leader of a Scandinavian country will come out and tell you, like, no, we're not communist or socialist. We're a free market capitalist country with a very generous social safety net. That's not communism.
Hi, you're talking to Britain. It's kind of us.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Well,
But
I always tag. It's like somebody's like, well, look at here, here, and here, and I'll tag white cis male. I'll tag my friend Sage at Slay Heron on Twitter, and I'll tag somebody that I know that's from. I'll tag a Norwegian friend, a Swedish friend, and somebody from Switzerland that I know, and all three of them will go, "We don't live in a socialist state."
and so what I want to know is if this is not real communism, if this is not real socialism, I mean, if we're looking at China, if we're looking at Russia, if we're looking at Venezuela, if we're looking at Cuba, all of these different socioeconomic systems that have been attempted
Mm-hmm.
aren't real communism, aren't real socialism, and every single one of them has failed. So when are we going to see real communism or real socialism? When is it actually going to succeed? Because I've seen capitalism succeed. I've seen it succeed to a fault, actually, and I will actually make this argument, and I think it's a good argument because capitalism is successful to the point where, based upon a meritocracy, yes, the best of the best will rise to the top to a point where nobody has a chance of succeeding against them. Period. End of story.
Do you want to make one point you make when you sound about rising to the top? There are two things that rise to the top. One, I will admit, is the cream of society. The other one is shit. Just want to say that to you, mate. Okay, so think about what you're saying. That's all.
Well, but that's why I believe in a well-regulated free market.
Okay, then that's another matter.
Yeah, that's why I believe in a well-regulated free market, is because if you just leave the free market up to whatever it's going to do, yeah, the cream of the crop will rise to the top. It will be the most efficient. It will be the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be savage. Like if you're just a fraction of a bit lazier than the person next to you, you'll get chewed up and spit the fuck out. It's not a nice place. This is that type of market. And this is coming from someone who's an investor. I thrive in markets like this, but I understand why it's not good in terms of like a large scale market for like the vast majority of society, because most people aren't focused on wanting to chew everybody up and spit everybody out and be the best of the best. It's like, look, I just want to have a house and a car, and I want to watch like the football game and like raise my kids and not have to worry about shit. In a 100% purely capitalistic society, I'm going to take somebody like that and chew them up and spit them out. Like, yeah, I'll give you everything you want, but you're never going to advance beyond that. And I'm going to make sure of it. And I'll be honest, and this will piss a lot of people off. Because I know that somebody just has that level of ambition. They just want to have that house. They just want to have work their 9-to-5 job. They have 2 kids, and they want a car. They want a weekend car. I can provide them with all of that.
Doku, one thing, mate. Are you saying that girls want to have fun? Is what you're trying to tell me?
Well, yeah, the girls just want to have fun.
Okay, just checking.
But the thing is, if I can provide them with all of that, knowing that the amount that they work is going to provide me with more capital benefit, it's like, all right, I'll pay you $60,000 a year, knowing that I'm getting about $100,000 worth of profitability from you. Now, my job becomes I need to actually manage the business and figure out how I'm going to get that extra $40,000 out of you.
Yes.
That's capitalism. But my risks now becomes I have to figure out where that extra $40,000 comes from. And if you can't provide me with that extra $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, bye.
Yeah.
You're fired. Poof, gone. Get the fuck out. Hey,
Yeah.
That's how capitalism fucking works.
Well, capitalism in its darkest form are all the pyramid schemes that are out there.
Oh, that's a little bit different, because that now becomes not just, can you provide me with value to my company? That becomes, now I'm extracting value from you because you already have value that you have saved up, and that's different. And that is a very big problem. And it's one that we're actually engaged in right now. I wish Syntax was here, because she would love to talk about this. But there is a degree of wealth extraction that is going on right now, where people work and they take the money, they take what they've earned and invest it into things like the stock market and hedge funds, investment banks, institutions manipulate the market, and they extract that wealth with the expectation that because whatever you've invested in or what you've bought, they're going to shove the price down, expecting you to sell, and then they can turn around and buy that same asset from you at a cheaper price, because they are manipulating the prices of assets, because they have billions of dollars and you only have thousands, maybe tens of thousands at best. Hundreds of thousands if you're really lucky. And so there is a lot of market manipulation. There is a lot of financial manipulation that goes on. That is the most fucked up part. And oh, by the way, they're backed up by financial institutions like the Federal Reserve, who bail out the big banks, bail out the hedge funds, the financial institutions that they provide them with exorbitant amounts of liquidity that they don't need, let alone deserve. And they do it just to screw over the retail investors, people like you and me. And then they turn around and say, like, and I shit you not, I mean, the SEC had a freaking ad they posted on YouTube where it's like, well, retail investors don't know when to sell their assets. They're because they bought things like GameStop and AMC and they didn't sell it, then it's causing the whole market to tank because they just refuse to sell. And to be perfectly blunt, anybody with 2 shits for brains realizes, so I bought an asset and didn't sell it, but you guys are borrowing that asset and then selling it, driving the price down, and you're blaming me for the market going down when I'm buying and I'm not selling? and I'm the problem? Like, bro, hey, anybody with two shits for brains realizes, no, I'm not the problem. You are.
I can see the problem with your argument already, mate. Are you ready? You're assuming that they have two shits for brains. I wouldn't even go that high. I'm not wrong, am I?
I really wish I actually could debate you on that one, but the problem is that you're correct. They actually do think we're that stupid.
Yeah.
Like, they will literally sit there and tell you, and I'm not joking, this is coming from like CNBC, Fox Business, even from the fucking Fed, like from Powell and Yellen. Like, they're sitting there and saying, yeah, the meme stock investors are the reason that the market's tanking. It's like, so the people that are buying up the assets that are being constantly shorted by the people who have trillions of dollars worth of liquidity, that keep naked shorting the market.
Yep, you're the bad guy.
Yeah, that they're fine. But us buying up these assets as opposed to selling them at a loss, we're the reason the market's going down. Not the people that are naked shorting everything.
You're beginning to get the right idea now, yeah.
And then the people that are naked shorting everything, because now that they are naked shorting, which, for in case anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, naked shorting is Jensen has 100 shares of ABC, and I want to take ABC and sell it. Rather than buying ABC from Jensen, I just borrow it and then sell it, expecting the price to go down. So I borrow it from Jensen for like $1, and then I sell it for $1, and I dump it on the market, and it goes down to like 80 cents. And then I buy it back for 80 cents, and then I give it back to Jensen, and I make money on the 20-cent spread. That's how naked shorting would normally work. Except when you start doing it on like a massive scale where it's like, we're not talking about like $100. It's more of like, there are no shares, period, because we own the entire fucking float. There are no shares to fucking borrow. So you have to continue to short it down to scare people out of their positions, where it's like, well, they won't sell it 80 cents, so we'll drop it down to 70. Oh, well, they won't sell at 70. We'll borrow more and drop it down to 60. And they still won't sell, so we'll drop it down to 50. And every single time they do it, we just keep buying more. That's why they're freaking out.
By the way, you sound so proud when you say that.
Oh, yeah, it's because we're gonna bankrupt a shit ton of hedge funds. Because they keep borrowing shares and driving the price down on certain stocks, and we keep going like, we keep looking at them like, are you really going to keep doing this? Like, you keep creating synthetics, you keep using derivatives, you keep driving the price down, expecting to drive us out of our positions, and we just keep buying more. We're not selling. Like, you guys are not going to force us out of our positions. I don't know why. Like, and this has been like 2 years now. You're not going to force us to sell. I don't understand why you would do this.
Dude, just gonna say definition of insanity. It applies here, doesn't it?
Well, they don't. At this point in time, it's more of like they don't have a choice. I mean, they might be able to drive the price down enough where they can cover a little bit here and there, but I can guarantee you one of two things is going to happen. either one big hedge fund, and I don't know if it's going to be BlackRock, Citadel, Knight Securities, maybe it's Vanguard. One of them is going to come in and just say, you know what, fuck it, done, out. Yeah. Everyone else, you're on your own. One of them is going to come in and cover that short position, and then everything's tense up from there.
Yep.
Or they're going to drag this out as long as possible and just hope that, they can cover, 10,000 shares here, 100,000 shares there, knowing that when looking at a lot of these positions, it's like they've got like, I'll just look at MMAT. They've got like 50 to 56 million shares that they have to cover. So the daily average is like 5 to 6 million. So it's like, yeah, maybe you guys can cover like 1 or 2 million and drag that out for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months, and you can cover your position, and maybe you won't trigger a short squeeze. Maybe. But again, one big holder comes in and just says, nah, fuck it. And they just cover their whole position. Well, yep, guess what? Let's see how many synthetic shares are actually out there, and then let's see what that does to the actual price, because I guarantee you the insiders ain't selling, and we're not selling because we've been buying this whole fucking time. And as Uncle Smokey would say, we own 100% of the fucking float. So if you guys want to cover, sure, I'll sell you some shares, but I'll sell you like, I don't know, 1,000 shares at $100 because I get to set the price. You guys have no pricing power. I do. I own the fucking shares.
Yep. No, I agree, mate. All right. We've gone over an hour. You said you wanted to make it an hour, so we'll call it there. Thank you very much, Maddie, for coming on and giving us your opinion.
Thank you for the invite.
Any time, hon. If ever you decide you want to come on, seriously, DM me on Discord. I can't see a reason why we wouldn't have you on. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so you look after yourself. Doku, any final words you want to say to rivet the people?
Actually, I don't have any final words for the chat, but I do have a question for Maddie. How do you feel about the college kids going around burning the American flag and saying, we need a communist solution and capitalism evil? Like, what's your perspective?
Well, a part of me is because of where I came from. That's an expression. The burning of the flag is an expression of free speech. They can do it if they want to. Fine. I don't care. I don't agree with it. As far as communism is concerned, I will forever say this. Whoever says communism is great and needs to be implemented in a truly free country, they need a one-way ticket to either Cuba, Venezuela, or Russia to see how long they last. And then come back and talk to me about how great communism is. Because it's not as great as they're romanticizing.
I don't disagree. And the thing, I've never personally experienced it, but I have studied it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know, because I wanted to hear the opinion of someone who
knows what they're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay then, Maddie, do you have any final words you would like to say to people?
Not really.
Shield your channel or something?
Well, I mean, Maddie's House of Geek is the channel. You put that in there, you'll find it. I made sure that was the only one, so plug it in there, you'll find me. Houseofgeek.net is my blog / website. So if you can't find my channel, that's my website. My channel's linked to it. And if you guys need, I update people as to what's going on with me for those that know and want updates. You can ask through DMs on Discord or Twitter. I will answer. And I do give
Excellent.
periodic updates in my server on Discord and on Twitter. So be on the lookout for that.
Okie dokie. Well, thank you very much for that. And thank you very much for coming on.
Mhm.
Sorry to say, Memes, your timing is perfect. We've just literally just coming to an end. But thank you for showing up anyway, mate. Do listen to the stuff we're talking about. Yeah, poor Tim. Dear old Tim Paul, he got shafted again as usual. But nonetheless, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, whatever else you want to call yourself. Hopefully we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Toodles.